Mike Leonard.
Thanks, Trev. Thanks, guys. Thanks for being here. I'm always conscious of the topics that I have, and night one, get in here, let's do some pitching, let's do hitting. Who else is on stage? And I've got kind of team dynamics and developing team captains. It doesn't quite have maybe the same kind of kickoff flair, but for me, it's the most important thing that I do is trying to create a team culture, because if I don't have the right people, if I don't effectively coach the personnel that I have, it doesn't matter how good our hitters are, how talented our pitchers are. So I spend a lot of time on this. Captain Class is a book read recently. It was really good on audiobook, really easy to digest, kind of talks through 7 traits of successful team captains. Captains are relentless, right? So there's no give up in captains that have had success at the highest level. And kind of little background on Captain Class, what Sam Walker did in this book is he basically took the greatest teams that have ever competed, and he had a criteria for that. You had to win multiple championships, you had to play at a national level, or at a global level. So you had to be basically competing at the highest level in your sport. You had to sustain success over a number of years. So this isn't just like one great team. This is kind of multiple years of a great team. And then they identified the captains on those teams. And they came up with the 7 best captains, I believe, kind of using this criteria. And then these are the 7 traits that all 7 of those captains demonstrated. Captains are relentless, so that kind of willingness to compete despite having an injury, physically not feeling like you're able to, is on there. That never stop, that work ethic that kind of goes beyond. How does that guy keep going? How does he have the energy to still be here? Playing to the limits of the rules, so found kind of the best captains are the ones that kind of push the envelope a little, to go beyond a place that most people aren't comfortable going. Doing the thankless jobs. I love the term sweep the sheds. If you haven't read Legacy by James Kerr, it is by far my favorite kind of sports coaching culture book. It's awesome. But in there he talks about leaders willing to sweep the sheds. So there's no task that is below the coach or the best player. Communicate in a low-key, practical, democratic way. So we think of captains, we think of charisma, kind of that, Vince Lombardi speech in front of the locker room. That is not where captains are the most effective, right? So oftentimes captains have their way of kind of dealing with conflict, communicating to their teammates in a practical way. Motivate through nonverbal displays, right? So that walking the walk, how you present, are you consistent in your body language? Are you consistent in your approach to things? You're always being watched. And I tell that to my seniors every single year. Everything you do is watched by your underclassmen. So every action that you make on the field, in the dorms, in the dining hall, walking through campus, you are visible. As a captain, it's going to be the same thing. They stand up for their convictions. So this is not someone who kind of has loose values. They are very convicted in what's important to them, will always be important to them, and there's no challenging that. And when it is challenged, they're willing to stand up for that. And they're in total control of their emotions. So that emotional intelligence, that ability to kind of keep things in check when you need to in the heat of the moment is the 7th trait that they had in that book.